What's up, gamers? Welcome to GameStar Nation. My name is Rob, and today, in this video right here, I'm going to take you through the Silver Age, and therefore the mountains in Valheim. Now, before we get started, as always, I'm going to show you around some of the changes that happened around the place. This is the 4th video in my series, so if you want to catch up, if you haven't seen the others, you can find them in the description below. And then once I'm done showing you around, we are going to get started immediately looking for silver. Alright, so for those who have seen the previous videos, you probably recognize that this dock is now covered. That's because I was sick of constantly repairing all the wood because of weather damage. So we have covered the dock. The garden has been upgraded a little bit. I just replaced all the half walls with X's because sloped wood does not weather or rot when it gets wet. So I just changed the entire fencing all around to the sloped X's, and that way it prevents wood rot. And that's the purpose of these X's. As long as there's a slope piece over a normal piece, the other ones won't rot either. I've also kind of put a roof over here. On this, I decided to keep it. We just kind of roofed it, which I just like the look of better, and that way also prevents the fire getting extinguished during rain. I've got it vented there at the top, and then it was mentioned in the comments or concern that I had no defenses at this property, and that was mainly because I don't spend a lot of time here, so it's just taking my chances that I wouldn't be raided, which I admit was unwise. And so I built a stone wall around it with, we'll call it a guard tower here, but essentially a defensive point where I can fend off, any attackers. For now, we have at least a little bit of defense. Now, unlike the previous biomes, we actually got lucky, and there's actually a mountains biome just north or northeast of here. There's also one southeast, so I actually won't need to leave the mainland this time, and we can get right to it, which is kind of a relief. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to need to head into the mountains. Gear check. So as you can see, all of my weapons and gear are upgraded to level 3, which for my shield is max, but for my weapons, that's 1 under max. So if you go in with maxed out armor and weapons, you're going to be a little bit better off than I am. Same thing for my armor. I've got level 3 armor on everything except the cloak. Cloak is level 2. So again, if you go in with better armor than this, whether it be the iron armor or more upgraded troll armor or even the root armor, this is going to be an easier task for you than it is for me. So if I can do it like this, you should be able to do it with anything equal to this or better. Now arrows, there's no special arrow to really take into the mountains. You can use standard wood arrows. You can of course use flint arrows, even poison arrows, whatever you'd prefer. I have leftover iron head arrows from our last video, so I'll be taking those for the hard hitters. And then I do recommend that you take fire arrows because there are several mobs that are weak to fire. And even though fire arrows don't do a lot of damage on their own, that extra damage from being their weakness really helps out. Plus, it's just a cheap arrow to make. So I'll be bringing fire arrows as my primary arrows. Now, beyond that, you just need good food. So what I'm starting with here is I got some turnip stew. I got sausages, which are great. Highly recommend. I've also got black soup if I want to go, more life heavy. Or I've got muck shake if I want to go more stam heavy. So I've actually got 4 foods to choose from here. Just make sure you have 3 good, solid, well-rounded. If anything, if you're going lighter armor, then maybe go more health heavy. If you're coming in with iron armor and fully upgraded equipment, then you can go a little stam heavy. But just bring good quality foods. Now, beyond that, we need to find the silver when we get there. That's the main reason we're going to the mountains. And so, of course, the Wishbone, if you've killed Bonemass, is the easiest and best way to find the silver. If for some reason you haven't completed the Bonemass battle yet, then the Stag Breaker is going to be the tool for you, and I'll show you why. A little bit of secret with this tool, but very, very useful. And so that's pretty much all we're going to need. So let's get to it. All right, so you can see there the mountains in the background. Whenever you get close to a mountain, whenever you see snow on a mountain or snow on trees, keep your head in a swivel. Keep a lookout for wolves. They can patrol around the base of the mountain, and if they find you when you're not expecting them, it can get real ugly real fast. I'm not worried about what's in these little houses right here, these huts. We need to keep our inventory empty. So forgive me as I ignore them. If we get too close, the freezing debuff is going to start off. There's a wolf right there. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and get in creepy mode. Now, I don't want to chance it. I could probably just one-shot him here with the arrow. Problem is if I miss, he's going to come in here, and if I'm not ready, then this is all bad. So we're just going to throw down a workbench. We're going to go to building, and we're going to build Just a wooden platform, make it just a little bit off the ground, not a whole lot. If we want, we can go a little bit higher. We're gonna make a second one here. And then, you know what? Let's just go with a third one, even higher here. And in case stuff gets really nutty, one over there. Okay, that's more platforms you need. You really just need one that you can jump to, but I'm just gonna play it super safe. There's 2 wolves. Oh, goodness. Now, hey, one thing that you may not be aware of about the Huntsman bow is it has a very quiet release, which means it doesn't alert enemies around if you miss. He got close enough to see me. That one's a stunner. All right, he's down. Didn't even have to use our platform. So in case it's not clear, the idea of the platform is to chase them here, or kite them here essentially, jump up there and then plug at them where they can't get to you. But if we can kill them first, we'll do that. Where did that wolf go? All right, you see, we are freezing. That we got a freezing debuff in the top right, so every second we're going to lose a point. I see him. He's hiding. I just... Ah! I can't believe I'm missing him like this. There we go. Okay, this is great. So we're getting wolf meat and we're getting wolf pelts right here at the edge of the mountains. But notice how we just got to the mountains and we're already seeing wolves. So anytime you see snow, be careful, keep your head on a swivel, look around at all times and make sure one doesn't sneak up on you. Because if he does and you're not ready for it, you could be in a world of hurt. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and freshen up our food. We're gonna go ahead and hit our frost resistance mead. All right, and we got 10 minutes to get in there and get out. Now, also, before we leave, I do recommend that you mark your blind. So if you ever have to retreat from wolves, you know where to head to jump up and finish them off. Now, wolves can spawn anywhere in the mountains, pretty much anytime, any elevation. Certain mobs only spawn at certain elevations, but wolves will spawn at any elevation and any time of day. But they do spawn like 3 times the amount at night. And at night, there's a chance to get an elite wolf, like a 1-star or 2-star. They're amazing to tame, but they are horrible to fight. So early on, I recommend you just stay in the mountains in the daytime and get out by nightfall. Or be prepared to have the fight of your life. Maybe a few of them. Oh, there's a drake right there. And they have really good vision. If he sees me, he's going to come over here. They attack with ice blasts, which is frost damage. So luckily with frost resistance meat, they do minimal damage if they do attack us. But they will slow you down. And that could create some problems for you. This fog is making it hard to see. Got him. They have almost no defense, though. You pop them by surprise, like 1 shot. That's usually enough to take them down. And I thought in my peripheral I saw one more to the left. Oh, there's one right there. So drakes, we actually need to hunt them. Because first they'll drop this freeze gland, which is good for a new food item. It's also good for frost arrows. But like most mobs, drakes have a chance to drop a trophy. And we're going to need 2 of those to make the silver helm. It's called the Drake helm, and it's pretty fresh. It looks cool. It's got amazing armor on it. We definitely want it. All right, let's see. It's kind of a shot. We're gonna go there. No, too low. Go a little bit higher, and always a little to the right. Got him. I didn't see the explosion, so I'm not sure where he is, but we know he's over in this direction. Okay, now this rock right here, obsidian. This is one of the things you're gonna want to collect. This is gonna unlock some table upgrades. It's gonna give you obsidian arrows. You also need obsidian for the frost arrows. Kind of a cragged rock. It's that exact color all the time. It's very consistent in look, so you can spot it easily once you get used to it. But you are gonna need an iron pick in order to mine it. As long as you have an iron pick, it doesn't take many hits at all. And you get quite a bit. We got 5 there. If I remember, you need 4 for every set of 20 arrows. You don't need much for the table upgrades. So we'll probably collect about a stack while we're out here. Now it only spawns at certain elevations. Like you have to get up so high in order for obsidian to spawn. If you see obsidian spawn, then you're about 20 meters away from silver. That's to say that silver spawns about 20 meters higher, 60 feet higher up than obsidian in mountains. So you need to be at a high elevation to find silver. Now that it's obsidian, we're probably high enough. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in my wishbone. There's no reason not to have it unless you're carrying a lot of weight. You have something else that you're using. Hey, we're picking up a signal right away. Now in the mountains, typically the only signal you're gonna get is gonna be silver. In other biomes, you'll pick up different kinds of treasure, but in the mountains, just about the only treasure that this thing's gonna set off is silver. And the closer we get to it, the faster it's going to beep. And the higher pitch the tone's going to be. This is kind of staying the same, so we're not really gaining on it. Oh, a little bit higher pitch. Here's the one thing. The sun is going down. So it's going to get real dangerous real soon. There's also a drake just right over that little rock right there. Saw his little wings flapping. It's his big wings. He had saw us, so I didn't get a surprise attack. Let's go ahead and switch to flame arrows. So again, the real danger at night, there are werewolves that'll spawn out here, and they hit hard. They're very dangerous, but usually you can spot them ahead of time, and even if not, they have a really weird, awkward kind of lunge that misses often, so they're not that dangerous.
But if one sneaks up on you, they do hit hard, and they will end your run pretty quick.
Just trying to get the range on this guy. There's a wolf right there. I don't know if you can see him or not, but you're about to. Just a little low. But the thing is, he's not aware of the shot because this bow doesn't make much noise. There's another wolf right there, and he actually looks bigger. Got him in one shot. Now, wolves can be tamed. You can make them your friend, and they're very effective, especially if you can get an elite wolf. Now, I let him bite us a couple times, which is not very smart.
Consider switching to melee if they get close.
Okay, see this thing coming to life right here? That is a golem, and you want to avoid it at all costs, at least this early on. You can come back later and give them a run for their money, but right now they are going to obliterate us. They do massive damage. They have a really high range strike, and they can break through rocks, so we want to avoid them. The good thing about them, though, is they spawn at the same elevation as silver. So if you see one of those spawn, you know you're at least high enough to find silver, but you need to get away from this guy. When the time comes to fight him, maybe I'll get an opportunity to show you in this video, but if not, you want to use blunt weapons against him. But alternative method is a pick. You can use a pick against him. It happens to be one of his weaknesses, but just naturally the damage of weapons usually does more. In your situation though, the pick may be your best choice. So he's actually fighting the golem, and this is something to be aware of when you come across the golem. A great way to shake a golem off is to run him to a wyvern, or a drake, sorry, because they hate each other. For whatever reason, the drakes and the golems absolutely hate each other, but they will fight forever because typically the golem can't get up to the altitude of the drake to do damage to him, but the drake's frost damage does nothing to the golem. But they'll just chase each other around forever. And we're gonna let them do that. I heard a wolf, and they have a great vision as well, so if they see us before we see them, that could be really, really bad. Now, occasionally the drake will take a bad flight path and end up too low, and will actually get killed by the golem. So don't be too confident that they're gonna fight forever. I think it just happened. Yep, the golem actually caught the drake at low altitude and got him, but he's actually fighting something else now. And he killed it, whatever it was. He's coming for us now, it looks like. Okay, guys, it is dangerous at night. I'm okay to be here, but the second thing is I know it's just kind of bad on YouTube. YouTube always comes out pretty dark, and so it's hard to see what's going on. So for my safety and for your viewing pleasure, I'm going to go ahead and try to exit stage left, hopefully safely. And we're going to wait till morning to finish this up, at least this particular run. Let's sit right here next to our fire, right on the outskirts, and just chill the night away. Okay, morning is upon us. Buffs are getting low. Might as well rev them up again. Oh, now look! During those wolves we killed, we actually got a wolf trophy, and that's good. We need that for the wolf cape. Okay, let's go ahead and hit our mead. All right, we got 10 minutes. Let's get to it. Oh, there's our friend the golem. Remember, we were over to his right. Oh. Oh, we're close. Oh, look, one of the rare times it's actually sticking out of the ground. This is so rare. But sure enough, there's silver right there. That is what we need. What I'm gonna do first, I'm actually gonna mark the map, just so if we get interrupted, we'll know exactly where this was. While I'm here and I have some silver, or we can both see where it is, I wanna show you that alternative method I mentioned, and the reason I brought the stag breaker. If you use the stag breaker, and you don't have a wishbone, we're gonna take it off to pretend we don't. With the stag breaker, you can pound the ground, and if you see the 0 that popped up, like a damage indicator, really of any kind, ignore it. It's not what we're looking for, but right there it says too hard. Did you see that? Too hard. That means you've either come in contact with A, obsidian, or B, silver. And it does ground penetrating radar essentially, so we can look around and see there's no obsidian, as obsidian's always on the surface. So that means we have silver. Now we know we have silver because we found it right here. But using the stag breaker, you can find it even without a wishbone. Okay, you're gonna be tempted, you see silver, just to break away at it. And you certainly can do that, but there is a much more satisfying and really efficient way to mine it out of the ground. And that's actually to mine the ground around it. Like, mine the ground away from it. It'll take a little while, but the reality is you have to do this much mining anyways if you're gonna constantly dig the vein out of the earth. So what we're gonna do is try to minimize or completely avoid doing any damage to the silver ore itself. I hear a golem coming. I don't think he knows we're here. Yeah, it's heavy footsteps. He's coming this way. Our arrows won't do anything to him. I just want to get away without him seeing us. I don't have the gear yet to defend, even parry his attacks. He's after something. He got called to lunch, maybe? I'm not sure. He's in a hurry to go somewhere. You know, it might have been he heard us picking over here and came to investigate. So we'll have to be aware of that. Now, silver veins can be different sizes, but typically they're like 3 horns attached together. This one looks like it's about to split right now. Again, keep your head on a swivel. A lot of these mobs patrol around, and they'll hear you if they get close. Many will come to investigate. Wolves will come to kill. They'll come sprinting in if they hear you. Now, if that happens, though, don't panic. Again, they're really bad at pathfinding, so just try to keep rocks or elevation between you and them. I hear that golem coming back. He's definitely investigating the noise, is what he's doing. This time he's investigating a little deeper. At this point, I wish I would have went stamina heavy on the food. But if I get clipped even once, I'm going to be glad I have the health. There he goes. Boy, he's going to make this a pain.
Is that him again?
Oh, well, we can't have him hold us back. We'll deal with him if we have to. Well, he's just going to make our life miserable, I think. Let me see if I'm right about this. If he'll stagger us or if I can actually parry it. Oh, I parried it. A little sooner than I expected. We're gonna go for it. Stamina's gonna be the trick. You don't do a lot of damage to him when you're not parrying him. That's the hard one there. That's a hard swing. It's hard to parry. It's hard to time. I mean, he's so close. Maybe we can pick him off with the arrow, but we're gonna need stronger arrows than fire.
I think I got enough health. I'll just finish him off.
Oh! Okay, and there we go. Some crystal shards. Those can be used to make windows. Not what I was planning on doing, nor did I think we could, but you got a lesson in killing golems. You're welcome. Back to work. There's a Drake overhead. I hear his wings flapping. He's probably trying to find an angle on us. Our food's getting low too, but we're gonna keep what we got to finish him off. They're real predictable once you get used to them. They'll fly away, they'll stop and circle back, which is a great time to hit them. Because they're kind of stationary in the air. And then when they come back, they'll stop, breathe, and then fire 3 times. So usually I wait till they're approaching, and then I just pop them in the face or the chest, wherever the arrow decides to go. We're almost there, guys. It's going to be dark, though, unfortunately. I think I'm going to have to wait till morning to pop this thing so you can see it in all its glory. All right, we're just walking around, make sure there's no earth attached anywhere. We just need the server or your game to realize that it's not attached at all. And we want to make sure there's no way it could be confused about that.
This thing is ready, but we're going to wait till morning. You rest. I'll keep watch.
All right, we got the sun peering up from the trees there. I think we got enough light. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just pop this thing right in the center. I'm not sure the center is even necessary. I think once you break it, the server realizes there's nothing attached and you get a full-on explosion. And of course, the Drake ruins our moment. Oh, 2 Drakes, awesome. Switch arrows real quick. I also thought he'd already fired. 1 down. 2 down. Hope that's it for now. Okay, let's use hopefully the last meat we'll need. But even though the Drake started to ruin our moment, I'm sure you saw it. The whole thing exploded at once. That means all you gotta do now is just collect all that precious silver. We got a lot of running to do. Well, I have a lot of running to do. So let me get this stuff back to camp, and then we'll come back to finish up the last couple things we need here. And then I'll take you through all the new things you can make. Get this cooking while we're getting the other stuff. Oh, look at that there. Look at this. There's our wolf armor, crystal battle axe, Draugr, that's the best bow in the game. Not really, not anymore. It used to be. It's still one of my favorites, though. Butcher's table. It's going to give us new food options. Oh, that's going to make everything better. You know, since we got to go back to the mountains a little bit longer, why don't we go ahead and rev our engines up a little bit? Go ahead and upgrade what we can. So first off, let's check the workbench. And this is where we can make the wolf fur cape, which is going to be a complete game changer for the mountains. We just need 4 silver, 1 wolf trophy, and 6 wolf pelts, which we have more than enough. It shouldn't take you very long to get all this stuff. Should be one of the first things you're able to get from the mountains. All right, let's go ahead and craft that. And this again will make it so we don't need any more frost meads to go into the mountains. This will prevent us from getting that freeze debuff. Let me put it on out here where you can see it, because this is a pretty good looking cloak. Look at that. You always got a best friend snuggled up to you at all times. Keeps you comfortable in the cold, and you can name him if you want to. All right, so we already look a little more formidable. Look at that. We still got our troll armor on, but this, just adding this cape has already made us, you know, a bit more stout in our posture. All right, is there anything else on the workbench that we can make right now? Well, we can make the obsidian arrows. I'm not going to worry about that right now because there's nothing up there that we can't take out with the arrows we have, but these are really nice to go forward. These kind of become my standard for a long while. Once you get obsidian, it's so easy to make them, and they do so much damage. This is the way to go. Frost arrows are also really good. It's basically an obsidian arrow with the freeze gland attached. So the ingredients are the exact same, but with the freeze gland. Those slow the enemy down, and some enemies it does massive damage to. Those are really, really good arrows. I believe that's all we can make with the table. The rest is going to be at the forge. Although there is an upgrade that we're going to make for this workbench with the obsidian, which will upgrade another level higher and possibly give us access to something else.
I don't think it will, but it's still nice to have.
Let's go and grab the rest of the silver up. Load this up for some more. And by the time we get back, that'll be done. Okay, so for the wolf armor chest, we need 20 silver. Oof, that's a lot. We only got 6 currently, but by the time we get the other stuff and bring it back, we'll have enough. So we're gonna need 20 silver, a chain, which I'm sure I have one of those around here, like a couple of them, and 5 wolf pelts, so we have 6. Then the wolf armor legs are gonna need another 20 silver, another 5 wolf pelts, and 4 wolf fangs. So we should be out in the mountains for a little while, probably collecting this stuff. Now the Draugr Fang adds a poison damage on the end. It does a little bit more damage than the Huntsman, but it does poison as well. Also it glows. It's kind of cool looking. It's actually really cool looking. And that's kind of why it's my favorite. But the Huntsman bow does have the advantage of being quieter, so you can miss enemies and still get a second chance. The Draugr Fang, as soon as you let go of that cord, everything around is going to hear it, and they're going to come running. All right, so for this we need 10 ancient bark, 20 silver, 2 deer hide, and 10 guck. I've got all that stuff. I don't have enough silver yet, but we're probably going to make that first. Okay, then what else we got? The Drake Helm, and we do in fact need 2 trophies for that. And then a silver shield. That'll help out quite a bit. We could probably make that now. That could really help us out with the golems. I'm gonna go ahead and make one of those. And there's also the silver sword. That's 40 silver though. It's a great weapon, but it does take a lot of silver. There is a weapon though that is just hands down the best at this tier of the game. And I'll show you how to get that by the end of the video. That's the one I would put all your attention on. All right, for silver shield, we need 10 fine wood and 8 silver. Let me grab that real quick. All right, here we go. Silver shield. Don't forget to check your style. Unless you just want the standard wood. It's nice looking. I'm gonna go with the black and white. Okay, and now we can switch out that bandit. I do love the bandit shield. It's a great shield, but the silver shield is better. Hang that back on the wall and get a little shut eye real quick. All right, and then one of the things we can make with the silver that's really important is this butcher's table. So we need 2 ancient bark, 4 core wood, 4 fine wood, 2 silver, and a workbench nearby. I don't have a good spot to put it yet. I'm gonna have to rearrange this place a bit, but for now, just so we can use it, I'm gonna drop it right here. And we just gained cauldron level 3 and ice cream. Also, wolf jerky. So with 1 wolf meat and 1 honey, you can make wolf jerky, which will give you 33 health and 33 stamina. It's essentially a complete upgrade to the boar jerky, which give you 23 of each. If you spend any time in the mountains, trust me, you are going to have a ton of wolf meat around. So wolf jerky is a really good way to use it, but there's an even better recipe coming that is just an overall better use of wolf meat. We just need to find onions. So don't use it all up all the time, or at least make sure you've got some by the time you enter it, because you're definitely going to want to use it for the next piece primarily. But for now, wolf jerky is still a really good option. Now, ice cream is it is made with 3 Grey Dwarf eyes, hence the ice cream, and a freeze gland. Now, I think that's going to be it for now as far as what we gain, but those 2 things are going to help us out quite a bit. So I'm actually going to gather up what I need for my chest right now to make some ice cream and some wolf jerky. I'll renew the other foods here, and we'll get back to the mountains and grab up the rest of what we need. Now, the ice cream, it gives you 65 stamina and 21 health, so it's a major improvement over what we've had before. Really good food. Oh, good morning. Oh, coming back in a blizzard. Real difficult to see. Oh. Walk right up on a wolf. Oh, he got a chunk of me. Mountains is really hard to fight because of the angle. Oftentimes you're just a little too high or even a little too low to actually hit your target, but they'll usually have no problem hitting you. So try to find level ground to fight on. Even if you have to retreat a little or even climb up the mountain a little more, you definitely want to make things count. And if you're missing simply because you're a little out of elevation, it could end really bad. So early on, until you get used to the timing of the parry with the wolves, just block their attack, and immediately after they hit your shield, smack them, and then go back to block again until they attack, and then smack them. Once you get a little more confident, get used to fighting them, then you'll be able to respond to that snarling noise they make right before they bite or as they're biting, which makes the parrying a lot easier. Oh, chilly. That'll wake you up. Attacked by a second one. Oh, they kind of ran into each other. Just relocating. Ah, missed that one. We got a trophy? I don't even see the frost. Too low. No trophy. Where'd the other one? Oh, it's over here. Oh, looks like a trophy. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're done with drakes.
I mean, we're still gonna need some frost glands.
But we don't need any more trophies since we're playing by ourselves. All right, we still need some more wolf pelts. Oh, now here is a newer addition to the mountains. Just a few updates ago. The Frost Caves. These are dungeons, randomly generated like the other dungeons, like the Sunken Crypts and like the
Burial chambers.
You hear that dog snarl, it's coming for you. Begin to fight. Be on your toes.
While dangerous, frost caves do give you an opportunity to get an entire new set of armor. One that looks pretty cool and is a nice alternative to getting the silver armor if you like to stay light on your feet and avoid the movement speed debuff of heavier armor like silver armor.
Then the Fenris armor is going to suit you nicely.
The problem is the frost caves are full of dangerous werewolves essentially. There's a couple different classes of mobs to watch out for,
But I'll point them out as we go. And on that note, let's get started.
Now you gotta keep an eye out for these sheets of ice. They're basically just barriers to walk by, but sometimes they just seem like part of the cave. Like this one's pretty obvious. You've got all gray rock around and then this ice blue. So it's pretty obvious that this is an area you can go. Just do enough damage to it and they'll break. But sometimes they're just kind of in the surroundings, kind of like this. And you can't tell if that's just part of the wall or if that's an ice sheet. One way to find out, doesn't cost you anything.
There are bats. They're close to harmless. They're just annoying.
Again, they're really easy to kill as long as you can hit them. Hitting them can be a little difficult unless, of course, you're using
AoE weapons like the Atgeir or Sledgehammer or even the Stagbreaker. A great way to find crystals without having to kill golems are in these frost caves. They're kind of found everywhere. All right, look, I'll give you a chance.
Yeah. There we go. Hammer works well. AoE effect will make short work of the bats.
Now here, this door. This is what you're here for. Beyond these doors, you'll find everything you need to make the Fenring armor. But you'll also discover the cultists, which are advanced caster werewolves. You're also going to come across the Ulv, which are primitive feral werewolves. Both are very dangerous, but the cultists are far more dangerous.
Now, right here is stairways down. When I talk about using the stairways to get distance between you and the wolf people, this is what I'm talking about here. And actually, I can see one pacing around down there. A cultist. There we go. So the advanced Ulvs that cast spells are called cultists, and they're the most dangerous of the mobs in these caves. They can't jump and they can't climb stairs though, so as long as you don't drift too far into their lair, you can usually take care of them pretty easily. Now that little pile of hair I just shot at down there was a sleeping Ulv. I ended him in one shot, but in the process I alerted another cultist my location. Now I am just slightly undergeared for this place. I'd recommend that you come in once you have
Better armor, whether it's the root armor or iron armor, or just fully upgraded troll.
Okay, so there's a cultist there, and I'm just gonna close the door between him and I.
Gonna kind of rethink my life. All right. Just keep them at range. Keep elevation between you and them. I don't mean the slight elevation. I mean, yeah, more steep like this.
And see here, they're very unintelligent. They can't figure out how to get over that little hump there to get to me. And this is kind of how you make short, easy work of these guys. This is the way I'd recommend doing this if you're going to come in here with less than adequate armor. Now, they're important to kill, not only because they're in your way, but because they drop jute, red jute. And that is a new material used to make some decorative items for the home, including curtains, a new rug, as well as several holiday items. All right, now these are randomly generated, just like every other dungeon, and so you want to kind of pay close attention to any little cubby holes, because there are little hidden spots. They're not hard to find, but if you're not looking, you will pass them right up. Now, all throughout these caves, you'll find meat piles. Meat piles are basically just something you interact with to get treasure. Most commonly, you're going to get entrails, but you will get occasionally other things as well. Now, here are the items that you'll want. For the armor, you're going to need Fenrir's hair, and for the new weapon, the Fenrir's claw. Now, also, there's these banners on the wall, and you see there Fenrir's hair. You can pull usually these three little tabs of Fenrir's hair off of these. You're going to need a lot. You're going to need a lot of hair to make the armor. It's probably going to take more than one of these caves to complete your armor set. Now, if you notice, I broke that below it, and I got red jute from that as well. These little hangovers here, jute. There's some bones if you need them. All right, they're not here anymore, but we know there's at least 2 of those cultists patrolling around down here. There's one right there. And an old. So their fire spell's got quite a bit of reach on it, as you can tell. Be careful with it. It does not take long at all for them to put an end to you. Oh, that's so satisfying when you get them, though. An explosion of fire. All right, now there's a good chance they're not the only ones down here, so you still want to keep your head on a swivel and collect this jute. And here's another tribute spot. Before we get it, I want to make sure we ain't got anyone else around here sleeping that's gonna wake up. There's a hallway down that way, it looks like. And there's a sleeping old right there. You see a pile of rags, chances are it's an old. Shoot it. Another tribute. Oh, gee, right in front of me. Sleeping old. He woke up because he heard something, but he didn't see me. Is there another one next to him? There's another one right there. They're hard to see. Oh, that one didn't kill him. Ah! Woo! Okay. These tribute spots are always dead ends, so if you don't see anything in here right away, there's nothing you have to worry about sneaking up on you. It looks like this might just be 2 tributes down here. Okay, so we don't have to worry about any others around this area, but this, again, isn't a whole lot of stuff. You really hope to find more tributes than just 2 or 3 in a cave, because each one's going to give you a few of these hairs, but as you'll see when we get back, you're going to need quite a few. I don't remember the amount you need yet, but when we get back to the workbench, we'll take a look. Now, even that top of the banner up there also is Fenrir's hair. You just gotta do damage to it to bring it down. Arrows are always an easy way to do that. And that looks like it's gonna do it for this cave. Now, this is a relatively small cave compared to most out there, but they're all just gonna have more of the same. Frost caves are a decent place to get crystal shards without having to fight golems. On that note, there is a rare chance of a golem spawning in one of these frost caves, so keep an eye out for that. Also, a fishing pole is possible to find near a lake at the bottom of these. Of course, fishing poles are also available from the merchant, and that's a much easier place to find one. Other than that, unless you're looking for the braziers, the rippers, or the Fenrir's armor, there's no real reason to really mess with these caves. Lastly, there is one variant of Frost Cave from the Hilder's Request, which does have an actual boss fight in it. You'll know you found one of these caves if you see braziers out front with blue flames. I recommend that unless you're specifically trying to complete Hilder's Request, stay far away from this dungeon.
Now, while we haven't found them yet, there are random buildings and ruins that will spawn out in the mountains. And
The ones made of stone have a chance of having a boss stone in them, showing you where Motor is. Motor being the boss of the mountains.
so I'm hoping we'll find one of those. They're usually pretty common, although looking around I don't see any currently, but we'll keep our eye out for it. So besides the stone towers, we're looking out for cabins as well. These cabins will oftentimes have onion seeds in them. There's the remains of a cabin, not much of one. There's no chest there though, no onion seeds. I hear this golem following us. Yeah, look at him. What a creep.
Well, once we shake this guy, we'll go ahead and sit down for a spell and get us a rested bonus.
I'm appreciating this this nice wolf pelt right now, I'm telling you that.
It's me and my buddy here, chilling.
Here's the ruins of a cabin, and I do see a chest. Skeleton guarding it. There we go, onion seeds. That's one of the things we need. All right, so that's gonna give us some new recipes plus just a new food item. Sweet. So see, it doesn't need to be a full cabin, just this little ruins here. As long as there's a chest. If you see a chest, there's really good odds there's onion in there. So you pretty much got to kind of just stay in the mountains and bounce mountain to mountain if necessary until you can find a cabin with a chest and claim your onion seeds.
And with that, we're kind of reaching the end here of what we need to find in the mountains. We still need to find a boss stone, so we need to look for stone castle ruins. And we need to find drake eggs because we need 3 of those to summon the Motor. Other than that, it's just a matter of collecting more of what we already found and upgrading our gear, summoning the boss, and ultimately bringing justice to Motor. Reclaiming the mountains once and for all for our king. And getting some really cool stuff in the process. So let's go!
What is that? Is that a Draugr? Yeah, that's a Draugr. There must be a Draugr tower. There must be a Draugr spawner in here. Definitely Draugrs. We've got a pathfinding issue right there. Just standing there looking at me. Can't quite figure out how to get to me. Use that to our advantage. Oh, I don't see a spawner, but I do see a boss stone. Motor is on this mountain. We are here, and he is there. So I'm gonna locate him. I'm gonna slap a port down in the area, and that way, once we've gathered all the other supplies, prepared ourselves, we can port right to him for the fight. Love it. What do we got here? A little bit of amber, some frost arrows. Frost arrows are nice. I'd hate to leave them. We don't need the intros right now.
Well, we found everything that we need to, with the exception of one.
And that is drake eggs. And we're gonna need to go up high to get those.
So let's go find his spawn in person, find some eggs, build a port home, and make some cool stuff. There it is.
I spotted it.
Oh, snarling. There's a wolf around. There he is.
As long as you can parry their attacks, you'll make short work of wolves. When there's a pack of them, it's a little more difficult. Alright, so this is the Motor spawn point. This is where we bring Motor into the world so that we can slay him once and for all. We need 3 drake eggs, which we'll place in those 3 little cups right there. Now we just need to find some drake nests. They're easy to spot at night because they kind of glow. Got ice shards and stuff around them. There we go, right there. That's a drake nest. But he's currently not concerned about us, so I'm not concerned about him. Oh. Alright, so this is a drake nest. They're kind of randomly strewn about the mountains. You're not guaranteed to find one in every spot, but they're not incredibly uncommon either. I have come across nests that do not have eggs in them, so I don't know if eggs just have a chance of spawning in them. I have never had a hard time finding 3 eggs. The only thing to be aware of is they weigh like 200 pounds apiece, no exaggeration. So you can only take like one at a time typically, unless you completely strip everything you have, you get two. And if you play 100% vanilla, you cannot take these through a portal. So you're gonna have to march them all the way over there. So you better hope to find the nests on the same mountain that you find your motor spawn. Otherwise, you're gonna do a lot of traveling. Right there, look at that, weight 200 pounds, no portaling. Now that they allow you to adjust, the settings of the world, if you choose to play with a free portal, then you can take the eggs through no problem. If you played, again, traditional vanilla, then these cannot go through the portal.
Right around the corner, check out this ruined fort.
We're going to use that probably for our fort. It's going to clear it of skellies so we can be close to motor.
Oh yeah, this will be nice. Right here in the centerpiece, we're going to put the portal. Really close to motor spawn. This will look perfect. Alright, so we found everything that we need in the mountains. Now we just need to go home, make the new weapons and armor we can make, prepare ourselves for battle with motor, and claim domination over the Silver Age and the mountain biome. Let's go. Alright, so let's take a look at the things we can make. Let's go ahead and start off with the Fenris armor. So we get the Fenris coat, the Fenris leggings, and the Fenris hood. It's a 3-piece armor set, much like the root armor, so you don't have to get 4 pieces to get the bonus. So set effect, 3 parts. The Fenris blessing. The Fenris armor makes you quick on your feet so you can pass through fire, and your fists feel the power of the beast. Damage modifier, resistance versus fire, and fists plus 15. So you're going to get plus 15 to your unarmed or fist skill. Even when using the rippers count as unarmed even though they are a weapon. As far as materials to make these things, we need 20 Fenris hair, 5 wolf pelts, and 10 leather scraps. For the Fenris leggings, we need 20 Fenris hair, 5 wolf pelts, and 10 leather scraps. So those are identical, you just pick whichever you want. Obviously for both, you're gonna need to double that. And the Fenris hood is 20 Fenris hair, 2 wolf pelts, and here's the hard part, a cultist trophy. That means you're going to have to hunt in different frost caves for the cultists until a trophy drops. And of course, being a trophy, it is a rare occurrence. Seems to be even rarer than normal with the cultists. So you may have to do some grinding to get it. Hopefully you find it worth it. But those 3 items will give you the full Fenris set. But now in order to make the flesh rippers, we'll have to head over to the forge. The forge needs to be at least level 3. We need 10 Fenris hair, 6 Fenris claw, and 10 silver. And there we go, full Fenris armor with flesh rippers. The all black fur armor. You see those Wolverine-like claws coming off my hands, and then glowing blue eyes, which is the only facial details you can see with the hood on. Pretty cool look. Very deadly, very effective. Stats-wise, all 3 level 1 Fenris armors and a level 1 cape. You're looking at a 31 armor class. And then the flesh rippers weigh 2 pounds. This of course is only a level 1. Durability of 300. Slash damage of 60. Use stamina 10, so relatively low for a weapon. Block armor, can actually block with them. You got 5. Block force 10. Parry bonus 6 times. Parry bonus, so that's nice. Great for parrying. Knockback of 20, and then backstab 6 times. So sneak attack with these is devastating. This is a great weapon if you want to run like a sneaky assassin style class. Good stuff. All right, so alternatively, let's check out the silver armor. So the silver armor is called the wolf armor. Now it's considered more of a traditional armor, so it does not have any kind of set bonus. It's not a special type of armor. It's just really good for defense. Looks pretty cool as well, and of course it has the frost resistance built into it, so that's a bonus. You don't have to have the full set to do that. In fact, just the chest piece or just the cloak will give you that resistance. So we have at level 1 the wolf armor chest. While it weighs 15 pounds, that is something to consider. It takes a lot of your carry weight up, but a durability of 1,000. You won't be repairing it very often, and an armor of 20. You need 20 silver, 5 wolf pelts, and a chain to make that. The wolf armor legs, also 20 silver, 5 wolf pelts, and 4 wolf fangs. That would also give you 20 armor as well. Now notice the movement speed, we got negative 5% when you wear the legs.
You'll see that again here with the chest, -5%. And then finally, the helmet, which is called the Drake Helm. And for that, we needed the 2 Drake trophies we were looking for, 2 wolf pelts, and 20 silver. Also with an armor class of 20. So let me make these items real quick. I'm going to gather supplies. We'll make these and take a look at that. All right, and here we are with the wolf armor, also known as the silver armor. Got our silver shield. See, we're all furred up. Looking pretty stout, looking pretty bold. Now here, with an armor class 20 on each piece, with a level 1 cape, you're an armor class 61, so significantly more stout. The only thing is, you run a little slower. In fact, wearing both pieces, it tells us in parentheses 20%. We're taking a 20% hit to our movement speed. That is significant. So you will not be able to move as fast as you did with the lighter armor, but you can take a lot more punishment. And for me, I run troll armor right up into the point that I can get wolf armor, and I switch to wolf armor because I think that the benefits of the extra armor class outweigh the movement speed, as well as the sneak bonus of the troll armor. But that's really a decision for you to make. I'll guarantee you, though, if you don't step up to at least the root or Fenris, you're going to struggle big time going into the next biome, which is the plains. In fact, I wouldn't recommend stepping foot in the plains with anything less than wolf armor, but that's just me. Now, when it comes to weapons, there is one at this level in the game that is far superior to any other weapon as far as damage and bonuses are concerned. That weapon is the Frostner, but it's only possible if you found Haldor, the merchant in your world. If so, go to Haldor with about 600 gold coins in your pocket and purchase 5 Ymir flesh. You need 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, Frostner. See that? And now that we have the Ymir flesh, let's head back and bring Frostner to life. All right, here we go. Frostner. Let's freeze it right there for a sec. So we got 35 blunt, 40 frost, and 20 spirit damage. Every time we hit something, it takes 3 forms of damage and gets the slow effect from frost. It glows with the frost effect. Pretty cool. So let's take a look at some of the other items we can make with what we found in the mountains. So in your build menu under crafting, we now have the tool shelf. It just takes 4 iron, 10 fine wood, 4 obsidian, and a forge to be nearby. And that is another upgrade for the workbench. With the crystals we found, we can make the crystal wall, which is essentially a window. It's a little weird on where it lets you connect. It won't let you stack the crystal on top of another crystal. You have to pick the side of the wall, the bottom, or even the top. Gonna do that with both of these. And even if you have to break it like everything else, you get it right back. Unlike glass, which would actually just be broken. If you've gone into the frost caves and got jute, you can now lay down red carpet. And you could completely carpet a room this way if you wanted to. Pretty nice. If you want to match, you can lay these red jute curtains. And this way you can make sure that your curtains match your rug. And then finally, under the furniture tab, we have the braziers. The standing brazier, which is 5 bronze, 2 coal, 3 Fenris claw, and a forge. And the blue standing brazier, 5 bronze, 5 Grey Dwarf eyes, 3 Fenris claw, and a forge nearby. And so you can now both decorate and light an area, and it counts as having a fire close by. Though you can't cook on it, you can sleep as long as you have one of these near a bed. So if we were to demonstrate by pulling up the dragon bed, another new item we could make, just requires 40 fine wood, 7 deer hide, 4 wolf pelts, 10 feathers, and 15 iron nails. And of course, needs to be near a workbench. So if we set that down, you can see actually just close to the brazier, and we're sleeping under the stars. And that is about it for the base items that you gain from the items in the mountains. I know it's a lot less than you'd possibly expect, but the Mountains biome or the Silver Age is a lot more about the weapons and armor than it is about the base items or base upgrades. That does change back immediately in the next biome, but I'll be honest, at this point in the game, you have just about everything you need to really excel in Valheim. You've now gotten beyond the stage of surviving, and you are now in the age of thriving. But even with that said, there's still one more piece of gear that I highly recommend you pursue. It is optional, but it's nice, and we're gonna make it right now. And that is the Draugr Fang. It has got pierce damage of 47, extra 5 poison damage, so essentially 52 damage total. This will be over time though. It's got a solid knockback and takes 10 ancient bark, 20 silver, 2 deer hide, and 10 guck. Let's craft this baby up. There we go. Now, and just look at her.
Look at that. That's nice and shiny.
That's a good looking bow, right? A mix of bone and silver and fang. And it shoots. All right, so we've prepared all of the weapons and armor we're gonna need for the fight against Moder. There's really just one last thing I wanna grab before we actually get there to fight. And that is these onions. I've been growing the onions this entire time since we got back, and they are now ready for harvest. So we're gonna take these onions, we're gonna head over to our cauldron where we can now make onion soup, which takes 3 onions, but will give you 20 health and 60 stamina, which is great, but it does use up quite a few onions quite quickly. The one I'm more interested in for this fight especially is the wolf skewers. These will give you 65 health and 21 stamina and only take 1 wolf meat, which you're gonna have plenty of, 2 mushrooms, which are super easy to find, and 1 onion. And that's for a 25-minute buff. So these are great. We're gonna go ahead and make us a few of these. Okay, now I've already set up a portal back to Moder, and I've already placed 2 of the 3 eggs on Moder's boss spawn. So all we have left to do is to check our gear and make sure we have everything we need. So I have upgraded the Draugr Fang 1 time, as well as the silver shield and all of the new armor. So all of the new stuff is level 2. If you want it to be a little bit easier, upgrade your stuff higher than that. All right, as far as food, I've got turnip stew, I've got our new wolf skewers, I've got sausages and muck shake, which truly is underpowered, to be honest. If I were you, I would actually take the time to get serpent stew, wolf skewers, ice cream, and muck shake. And with that combination, no matter if you want to go stam heavy or health heavy, you're going to have plenty of both. But I like to do this the hard way, just so that if you improve any part of this, it's going to be entirely easier for you. Now, beyond that, we need to consider arrows, because the Moder fight has 2 phases. There's a melee phase and a range phase, and she rotates between the 2. She lands on the ground, which is the melee phase. You can run up and punch her in the face if you want. And then she'll take off into the air and do a flight stage, which the only way to make contact is going to be ranged. So arrows are real important because you might not want to engage her in melee, so you can just try to stay ranged even when she's on the ground. But no matter what, you're going to need to do damage to her while she's in the air. On top of that, drakes adding to the fight are going to be an issue, so you need to be able to take them out. With that being said, your 2 best choices for arrows at this phase are going to be poison and or obsidian. If you don't mind taking the time to make the obsidian arrows, they just have a hard, solid punch, and they're really great, and you can go the whole fight with just those. Poison's nice because you can stick and move, come out, pop her, go back in, and she's taking damage that whole time. But overall, the obsidian still does a great amount of damage. If you really want to be easy on yourself, max out your bow so its durability is max and it can handle all the shots, and then bring 100 poison arrows and 200 obsidian arrows. That should be enough for the fight. You don't need health potions for this fight, and you really don't need frost resistance either, but I recommend bringing both just to make the occasional damage you get a lot softer. Now you want to make sure that you start the fight early in the morning, because the Moder fight can be a long one, especially if you're fighting her solo. And oftentimes I've had the fights go on throughout the whole night, which leads to extra spawns, more dangerous spawns. You got werewolves, you got 1 and 2 star wolves, not to mention a lot more drakes. So to make it easy on yourself, try to start as early as you can in the day so you can have it hopefully finished by nightfall. If not, the ride might get a little rougher. So sleep the night away, and then as soon as you wake up, portal over there, and that way you get your rested bonus. All you got to do is eat your food, and you can start the fight in the earliest part of the day, giving you the most amount of time before nightfall. And that's what time it is right now. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to leave this egg here. This one's just for show. I have another one waiting on the other side of the portal. So let's get to it. All right, there we go. We're going to go ahead and eat the food. All right, let's grab our third and final egg. Head on up and get this done. Now what you want to do in preparation for the fight, first off, build a portal back to your base fairly close to Motor's spawn. Not so close that Motor will damage it, but close enough that you can run to it if you need to in case things go south. On top of that, I also recommend that you place 2 eggs on Motor's spawn and have the third one close by. So that way when you show up first thing in the morning, you can start the fight immediately and not lose time loading up eggs. If you really don't have to worry about anyone else coming by and interacting with the platform, you can actually stack up all 3 eggs because the fight doesn't start until you engage the platform. And the last thing, and this is super important, definitely want to do this ahead of time because this could be a little time consuming, but in order to avoid most of the damage Motor's going to do, we are going to use Motor's spawn against her. So we're going to go ahead and dig straight down, just get right up next to portal and dig straight down, and as soon as you can, you want to tuck back into the platform, right up against it, and use this here as a ledge or an overhang. All right, so this is actually the ledge. We got to keep going. That's like our ceiling, essentially. Gotta be low enough that you can swing the pick and not hit the spawn, and then you're just gonna dig all the way around it. We're still gonna stay close to it because we want to minimize the amount of gaps there are between the ground and the portal, all except for our entrance and exit, which is going to be the same point. The entrance slash exit will be where we started this. So we're just going to work our way all the way around it. There we go. We're dug all the way around. So now you just want to be able to have a spot that you can get in and out of fairly easily, but without actually getting hit by any of Motor's ranged attacks. Make a nice smooth slope so you have no problem to get up and down even if your stamina's low. Okay, now the only problem you're going to have is wolves will be able to run down here, so keep an eye out for those. But essentially the whole idea of this is these spawn points are indestructible, so that way we have a place to hide and Motor can't damage it. Go ahead and freshen up our food and use our frost resist. All right. Here we go. There she is. Oh, nothing like missing my opening shot. There's a hit. All right, so Motor's gonna stop to attack us. And that's when we try to get down in the hole. Got a little stuck there. Try again. Now, much like the drakes, he's gonna fire at your location, but it does scatter, as you can see, quite wide. Whenever you need to, just drop down below and wait till she lands, and then charge her. Ah! Winter greed, my only weakness. How did you know? And that's the benefit of having the frost resistance mead. That would have done a lot more damage if I didn't. Now, if you hunker in real close to Motor, she has a real hard time hitting you. Just stay up against her body. Now she's still got an attack in right there. And there. Get a little close. We're gonna need you to get her airborne again real soon. Drake out into the fight messed me up. See that? Destroyed that rock I was behind. That's why you want to use the spawn plate. She's in her melee phase again. We're going to take this time to get rid of this Drake. Like I said, getting real close to her and she has a hard time hitting you. Doesn't mean she can't hit you, but she has a hard time. Blocking really helps. I was too busy swinging. And she's airborne again. Oh. So ads are one of the biggest issues. Snuck right up on me. Okay. Back to work. That does notable damage. She's just staring at us. Hey, if she's gonna sit there and smile, I'll take her picture all day.
And when she's flying around, you pretty much just pluck away at her. She attacks, you get under your shelter. And now it's great, occasionally she'll land on the platform and expose herself. Because she can't attack you down below, but she'll try. But as you can see, she's got her entire head sticking out. Just let me pluck away at it.
Look at that, right over my head. I can sit here and get all my stand back. Sorry, girl. Can't do it.
This is taking a while and our bow is kind of wearing out. I'm gonna need to take this to melee for a bit. Now if I can get away from here, I'm gonna create a fire down below under the boss plate and hope to get a rested bonus. Just need her to get far enough away.
And then to get her back on the ground, we're gonna go hide in her hole again. My bow is so close to broken. She's way over there. Forced me to use up the last bit of my bow on her. At this point, 30 arrows, I'll drop a few more into her. Get down 20 arrows, I'm gonna save what I have left. I'm gonna stop there, just my bow's about to break. As much as I'd like to finish her off this way, if more drakes show up, I need a bow.
Well, speak of the devil. Make it count. That's it. Bow's done.
Simple fight, guys. Things just went south for me. That's
She did get far enough away where I was able to get a rested bonus, so we should be able to finish it right here.
But just prepare for a long range fight and you'll be fine. I did not prepare for that. She's swinging so hard, we're like in her guts right now. Oh, right over my head. Now we're just gonna finish. Oh, at the last second she swings. I can't hit her for some reason. Is she gonna survive? No. She's bugged. Are you kidding me? She bugged out and I somehow got in between her. I couldn't actually do damage to her. Like she reversed it on me. Alright, I guess we'll just be patient. She's so close. Man, I wish I had a working bow right now. There it is. Dragon Tears, which allow you to now make the artisan table, which will unlock the entire next technology tree for you. Motor trophy.
I'd love to hang this at home, but we got something else to do with it. All right, another power. Let's check it out.
So Motor's Forsaken Power is super useful for traveling. Well, specifically for traveling on the ocean. So what it does is spins the winds, so no matter what way they're blowing, it changed them so that they're blowing into your back. Of course, speeding your sails along and get you where you want to go a lot faster. I find nothing more frustrating when you're out exploring or even just trying to get somewhere to do something and the winds shift against you, kind of like how they are right now. And we just activate our Forsaken Power. Even in death, motor still cries. And right there, look at that. Wind is at our back and we are pushing forward again. Even if I were to turn so that we're back up against the wind again. Well, that's going to be near impossible because it's going to constantly be spinning and turning to get behind us. See that? So forever long, the motor buff is active. The wind will shift to always be at your back, improving your sailing speed and situation. It's a favorite of mine. I'm sure it'll be a favorite of yours as well. And that brings us to the conclusion of this adventure. You now know all you need to know about the Silver Age and Mountains of Valheim, and with that, we can chalk up yet another success. You have tamed another land for Odin. You have gained power few before you ever have. Now lean into it, warrior. Go, push past the darkness, and bring justice to the lands of Valheim!